What's up, guys? In here in the Pig Trail Nation studio with Otis Kirk, our recruiting insider. As always, and Otis, let's begin with these grad transfers for Arkansas. And I think so many people in this fan base are excited about these grad transfers and how you can get immediate help.
Yeah.
You look at Xavier Kelly, and Xavier Kelly's a guy from Clemson, and I think right away you just hear Clemson and you're like, wow, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, and you know, he's going to come in and play a position that Sose Geem and T.J. Smith played last year, you know, the inside tackle positions. They're gone. You've got Jonathan Marshall, Isaiah Nichols, and some other kids back. But Xavier gives you a good possibility there to plug him into either T.J. or Sosa's spot, and you get an older player, you know, and if he and Marshall started and don't know what they will, but if they did, then you've got two seniors starting in defensive tackle, just like you had last year. So you still got the experience factor there.
Yep. A.J. Reed, a kicker, and this guy, just in terms of stats, look at his junior season, 15 of 18 on field goals.
Man, he's got a strong leg. One of his cousins is one of my best friends, and you know, I knew they were looking for a kicker, and I said something about, you know, A.J. Reed, and you know, it ended up they offered him and brought him in, got him a scholarship. But he had struggled some before his junior year, you know. But as a freshman, he did beat Notre Dame in the last play, you know, late in the game. But he was 15 of 18, I believe it was last year, a semifinalist for the Groves Award. And one thing he did, his only misses were between 40 and 49 yards. He had a 51 and I believe a 50, but he has a chance to come in and replace Connor Limpert. There again, you're getting a senior replacing a senior. See, that's what you do with these grad transfers, Drew. Like we talked about tackle, you get a senior coming in to replace Connor Limpert. So you still got the experience factor. This kid's kicked winning field goals, like I said, in the second game of the season, they'll be at Notre Dame. So
it sounds automatic, maybe from 35 to 40, something like that, right?
Yeah, it is. And then he was perfect over 50. It was just he had several attempts, so between 40 and 49. He missed 3, but he had several makes. I think you know, he's like 7 out of 10, or, you know, inside from the 40 to 49. Right. He was really good in there. It wasn't that he couldn't hit those distances. That was the only ones he had were misses. And we don't know what the conditions were, you know, wind and stuff like that.
Felipe Frank, got to talk about this guy. A lot of experience in terms of Frank's resume coming from Florida. Yeah,
you know, last year, you know, the last 2 years, especially last year, there was kind of a revolving door at quarterback. And this is a kid that's done it in the SEC. Comes in, gives Arkansas a chance to have someone that's won some games in the SEC. You know, being at Florida, Sam Pittman was at Georgia, so he knows, he's very familiar with Felipe, and so was Kendall Browse, and
dual threat guy.
Yeah, well, exactly, and that's what they want, and that's what they've gone out and got. And Felipe buys them some time for KJ and the other kids to get Malik and John Steven, you know, to get a little bit more time. And you know, but hey, if there's an injury, you know, he got injured last year. If there's an injury, you got these other guys will be ready to play. But at least you're starting out with an experienced quarterback who's won and had success in the SEC.
Absolutely, that's the big part of it. Jerry Jacobs, how you feeling about him at Arkansas State?
Well, you know, he played for Coach Rhodes up at Hutchinson a year, Richard, and then played a year, and he went to Arkansas State and kind of blew up for him, you know, and did a very good job over there. And he graduated, and with Coach Rhodes at Arkansas, is kind of a natural. Here's what I like about Jacobs. He can play safety or corner, Drew. He can play either, and so he's a guy that you can plug in at Rover, you know, the bandit position, you know, whatever they're going to call that.
Versatile.
Yeah, and play safety or corner or play that nickelback bandit, you know, whatever they want to call that. So, yeah, I think when you get a kid like that who's capable of playing 5 positions and has experience, he's played against Georgia. That was the game he got hurt last year, but he played well before he got hurt, and he'll help them. He will, and he is very physical. That's what I like about him too.
If you're Sam Carter, you like that cornerback, and then perhaps whatever you get on the back end will be a bonus. So we'll see how things play out with Jacobs. Levi Draper, what about him?
Well, he's a kid that Arkansas hopes. You know, at OU, they changed linebacker coaches. They had some defensive coordinator changes, and they're hoping that he finds a home here for 2 years, has some consistency in the fact that he'll be coached by the people, coached by the people who recruited him, I guess. And he was a 4-star out of Collinsville High School in Oklahoma, and I think he's got a chance to possibly be that linebacker with Bumper Pool. Now, I mean, Grant Morgan and other kids are going to have something to say about that. But regardless, some of these kids like Draper, they might not start, but they give you a good rotational piece. You know, a fourth-year junior that can rotate or start, you know, whatever. And if he starts and Morgan give you the same thing. He's experienced, you know, 4 years. So it's going to offer Coach Rhodes at linebacker some experience. When one goes off, another one can come in with similar experience, and that's what's huge.
Talked a lot about the tight end spot and how that's a need for Arkansas moving forward, clearly. And March 7th, Junior Day, we're going to see a good one, Mason Brotherton. And one of his offers is from Memphis.
Yeah, he's got an offer from Kansas and Memphis, and, you know, he's got one from Louisiana Monroe, Mercer. Arkansas is looking at him hard. And Arkansas, I could see them signing 3 tight ends in this class. Here's why I say that. They've got 3 tight ends on scholarship. Blake Kern will be a senior, so you're going to have you're going to be down to 2 after this season. You know, Hudson Henry and Colin Southern, and Sam has said he likes 5 tight ends on scholarship. So I mean, there's a chance that they could sign 2 or 3 tight ends in this class, and if they start going out and getting that many, I think Mason could be in the mix for scholarship. He's going to come in and get a long look and meet the coaches and them get to know him. You know, they're still learning, these in-state kids, and so I think he's got a strong chance to get a scholarship, but we'll see how it plays out.
A little bit of a numbers game. Grayson Gunner left, so
it is. There's a lot of they've got a lot of options at tight end. I mean, they've offered Aaron Outley at Parkview. They've offered several out-of-state kids. They've offered the JUCO kid I think we talked about last week on here from Independence. So they've offered a lot of tight ends, but you know, Mason's a kid that I think you really got to look at him strong, and he's not going to have the stats. I think he had 20-something catches, but his quarterback got hurt in the first game, you know, or second game maybe. He had 3 touchdown catches in the first game with his quarterback, Drew, and after that his numbers tailed off a little bit. But I mean, you know, he's just a kid that you've got to take a lot. You've got to look at beyond stats on him, and coaches do that. I watched him play out here at the camp last summer, and Alan Horace was here.
Yeah.
And I watched he and Horace and the other tight ends. Horace dropped 1 ball that should have been caught. Mason dropped 1 ball that should have been caught. Other than that, those 2 caught everything thrown their way. And I'm talking about a lot of passes. So yeah, he's very good, and I love him. I think he's a great player, and we'll see how. If the scholarship plays out. Like you said, it's a numbers game.
Yeah.
They've got offers out, but I know that their priority is to make sure if you've got an SEC caliber kid in the state, they want him here at Arkansas.
Yeah, he sounds extremely reliable.
Yeah.
Mason Brotherton. All right, Keyon Parker, he's a cornerback.
Yeah, he's out of Tulsa, Booker T. Washington, got a lot of offers, got about 10 of them. You know, Arkansas is one of them, Nebraska, Baylor, Oregon's offered him. I mean, that's just some of the schools that's offered him. He has got a lot of speed. He's friends with Miles Slusher, you know, the kid that signed here from Broken Arrow last year. So
that was a big pickup.
Yeah, it was. And Keyon's got similar talent to him, and played at rival Booker T. Washington. So we'll see. But yeah, he's another one that I think, you know, Arkansas might be in pretty good shape on. You know, we'll see. Oklahoma could possibly jump in there, you know, and muddy the waters. But on those out-of-state schools, I think Arkansas's, if he goes out of state, I think Arkansas's got a great shot at him. Let me put it that way.
Parker, another kid who will be at the March 7th Junior Day, and another guy coming in on the 7th, 6'7", Tory Phillips. He's a D lineman.
Yeah, and he's an interesting case. Here's a kid that played Joe T. Robinson in Little Rock as a 9th grader, played Hope as a 10th grader, went to Pleasant Grove. They went 15-1. They lost 1 game all year, and that was to Ty Keys, Cavante, and those kids at Carthage.
Yeah,
that was the one where they flew in the Morris went in the helicopter. But look, that's the only game they lost all year. They won the state championship. You know, Carthage was in a different league, different level than them. I think they were higher conference. District, but they went through the state playoffs, won it. Tory made a good move going down to Pleasant Grove. Arkansas's offered him, and he'll be here. He's 6'7", 265 pounds. You can't coach that. That's something those coaches always say. You can't coach that, 6'7", 265, and he's only going to get bigger. We're talking about a kid in 11th grade, and at that size, Drew. So and you get him on a weight program, and at that size, there's no telling how big he can be, and he can really run. And you know, he's they've got a lot of kids on that Pleasant Grove team that Arkansas has offered it.
Right.
And I don't know how many of those will be here. I know he's going to be here, but that's going to be a good chance to see some. Let the staff get to see him, meet him, and I think he'll be a Razorback. I think, pretty soon he'll be a Razorback. I think that could happen pretty quickly.
Do we agree that DJ Arkansas is on the all-name team?
Got to be. That's just, I was thinking of Chuck Barrett when they offered this kid. I mean, Arkansas. You don't know if you're talking about the team or the kid. But yeah, he's a linebacker at Denton Ryan, another team that did well in the state playoffs. And this kid was one of the leaders of that defense, had over 100 tackles. Probably about 6'2", 200 maybe, but he's a really good player. Arkansas is one of the many schools that's offered him, Kansas, Boise State, other schools. I mean, he's got a long list of offers, just like most of these kids. And it seems if there was ever a message to some kid that you ought to be a Razorback, this kid with that name, it's going to be hard for DJ to go somewhere besides Arkansas.
Seems like it fits, yeah. Cole Carson, O-lineman, and you talk about shoring up the trenches. And more and more you're seeing what Sam Pittman is doing there up front. What about Cole?
Well, I'll tell you one thing, these kids have been recruited to play offense. One thing they really like, Drew, they like that Sam's an offensive line coach because he knows he's going to take care of them on the offensive line. He's about 6'5", 290, plays at Bogota, Rivercrest down in Texas. But he plays both ways for that high school. But he's got Arkansas offer and three other offers. But he's a player that's going to continue to get offered, but a big kid who can run pretty well because, like I said, he plays defense. They had a very good team. They went in the state playoffs. They didn't win it, but they played, I think, 2 or 3 rounds deep in the playoffs. Had a pretty good season. So, he's a good ball player. And Arkansas jumped in there early. He's got offers from schools like Dartmouth and stuff. I mean, so one thing, he's got good grades. Yeah. Rice, Dartmouth. I mean, Texas San Antonio has offered him, so the old coaches, Jeff Traylor and them, but they're Arkansas's, got a chance at that kid. We'll see who all offers him, but and how he likes his trip here too.
Yeah, Jordan Hanna, let's start with him in terms of this last group. In terms of these 3 guys I want to talk about, but he's out of Greenwood, Jordan Hanna.
Yeah, his brother's Morgan that walked on up here, and Jordan is a kid that plays defensive end for Rick Jones down there, and then good luck to Rick at Missouri. But Jordan will move to linebacker in college. He's not as tall as his brother. He's going about right now I'd say 6'2", 200, maybe 195, and he's going to have to probably play linebacker in college. And Coach Rhodes, when he saw him at the junior day on February the 1st, said, "You're going to play linebacker," and told him what he needs to work on and stuff. But Jordan's got a chance. Southern Miss has offered him. He's going to get some more offers. I mean, he's going to pull in some more offers. But Southern Miss has offered him. Arkansas is very interested. A lot's going to depend on what kind of season he has. He's going to come to camp. He's going to come to camp, and that's going to play a big role, as it does with most of the in-state kids. If they come to camp, how they look at the camp and stuff.
Last 2 guys I want to talk about, Marko Avant and Brody Williams.
Yeah, Marko, I'm really fascinated with him. He's about 6'3", probably 6'2 and a half, 6'3", 212, linebacker. Played at Forest City. And he's going to move up to Jonesboro and play at Jonesboro this year. He's moved up there, and that was a loss for Forest City because this kid's one of the best linebackers in the state. He's got 10 offers. Arkansas has not offered him yet, but I think he's got a chance to get one. He met with Coach Rhodes individually when he was here. Coach Rhodes told him what he needed to work on and what he was looking for in a linebacker. Here's what, from watching your film, that you're doing. Here's what I want you to do. And Marko is really wanting that Arkansas offer, so I think he's going to work hard at that.
He's got that in mind the entire time as he builds here.
They signed a lot of linebackers in this class, but that's a position they're going to keep recruiting kids because the numbers were really down when they got here, at linebacker. That's a position kind of like tight end that the numbers are down. And I don't think you'll see them sign 5 or 6, but I do think they'll sign 3 maybe next year.
Right.
And there again, it's so early when you start saying 3 next year. what if 2 kids leave or something, so he could change. But right now, I'd guess more be closer to 3 than 5 or 6 like this year. But yeah, they'll sign some linebackers.
Essentially, the way too early projection, but
Yeah,
you're in that business, so you're just throwing that out there right now.
Yeah, and he's kind of like Mason Brotherton in the sense too. He's an in-state kid.
Yeah.
They want to. Sam has said, hey, if we can get a kid in-state that's got an SEC caliber player, talent, stuff, we want him. And so I think that's where Marko, Mason, some kids like that, Jordan Hannah maybe. I think that's where kids like that come into play, Drew, is because they fit in. They're in-state, and they're going to get more offers, and they've got some good talent. Those are talented kids. Those 3 are very talented kids.
A reminder to you, a lot of this stuff, a lot of these tidbits on hogville.net from Otis Kirk. So go there. He's writing a lot of articles per day. So check in on Otis's work, hogville.net. Thanks for joining us.